If President Biden said, hey, we're taking up everybody's AR-15s or their high-capacity magazines, we want local law enforcement to help us. If they had a bill that said, don't help them do that, and if we do, the department is liable, that's one thing. But to hold individual officers for assisting a federal agency is horrific.
Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about how a police chief stepped down after Missouri signed the Second Amendment Preservation Act. This police chief was serving about a year before he stepped down because they could no longer enforce federal gun control. I'm going to do my best to fall within YouTube's guidelines regarding bullying and harassment. I am going to give my opinion on the subject in the most respectful way I feel possible. We gotta wait like 30 seconds or so. Okay, so here's the deal. This is awesome. We have seen time and time again how everybody says, oh, look, police they don't want to support gun control. They don't want to enforce gun laws. And yes, I will always acknowledge that on an individual basis, there are probably many cops who are truly what I would consider pro 2A. I'm sure they exist. I know some of them exist, but the problem is that as a whole, many cops aren't those kinds of people, and many cops will continue to enforce the gun laws as they have forever. Before we do get going, though, I do want to say thank you to everyone that's been a support to me and this channel. Thank you to everyone that supports through Subscribestar, through using affiliate links on Instagram and that kind of stuff. It's been a huge support to me. Getting demonetized and now remonetized, having y'all's support has been huge. And thankfully, I was able to get remonetized right on schedule, but it could have gone a lot worse, and that the fact that all of you have stuck with me has been awesome. If you want to get into the community Discord, the best way to do that is by joining the $2 Subscribestar tier. It's a cool way for us to kind of interact, hang out. We talk a lot about future video projects in there. I chat with the community every once in a while. And I think that's just kind of the best way to interact on a more daily basis outside of underneath the comments on like an Instagram post and that kind of thing. But to get into this video, let's talk about it. I'm going to play the clip for you of the actual news footage that I saw, and then we'll kind of react to that after.
The O'Fallon police chief is resigning after spending less than a year on the job.
Chief Philip Dupuis's resignation is effective tonight. He says he's concerned about the new law banning local police from enforcing federal gun rules. Under the law signed by Governor Parson last week, law enforcement agencies and individual officers could be sued and fined for enforcing federal gun laws. I spoke with Dupuis just a short time ago. He says legislation is too vague and opens up officers to frivolous lawsuits.
If President Biden said, hey, we're taking up everybody's AR-15s or their high-capacity magazines, we want local law enforcement to help us. If they had a bill that said, don't help them do that, and if we do, the department is liable, that's one thing. But to hold individual officers for assisting a federal agency is horrific. I don't want to be the test case for this bill. I don't want to be the test case that goes before Supreme Court. I don't have any desire for that.
So in this video, he says that if Biden were to sign some bill saying that they want local law enforcement to help with the taking of their AR-15s and their high-capacity magazines. Sorry, I'm making fun of his accent. I know all of you that aren't from California probably think I have a weird accent, but look, it's all fun and games. So he says that he would be understanding if the law said that the department would be liable, not the individual police officers who choose to actually go out and enforce those laws. It never ceases to amaze me how police officers as a whole never want to be held accountable for their own individual actions. It's kind of like how when a corporation fucks up, it's never the actual executives or the people that made those individual decisions that led to whatever incident happening get punished. It's like the corporation. He's saying that he wants the department as a whole to use taxpayer money, most likely, to have to pay out the lawsuit that would be handed their way, instead of the individual officer who broke the state law and broke the oath that he took to the Constitution by enforcing those gun control measures. They don't want those individual people who make individual decisions to be held accountable for their individual actions. It just blows me away. This kind of law is perfect because what it says is that if a state police officer were to help enforce federal gun control and help the feds, help the ATF, the FBI, whatever it is, enforcing their gun control agenda, they individually would get in trouble for that. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Now, on the topic of non-compliance, and really that's where this all gets into, let's say someone, and I'm not a lawyer, this ain't legal advice, but let's say someone were to break some sort of federal law and manufacture an NFA item that may or may not be federally regulated. The ATF could still send one of their very limited number of agents to your door with the FBI, knock down your door, do whatever it is that they want to do. As we've seen with the auto key card, as we've seen with the portable wall hanger, with people that purchase those items. I've got videos of those down below. This video is going to be going into my playlist called Cops Enforcing Gun Control, because while this is not a specific instance of a cop enforcing gun control, it's a cop wanting to be able to enforce gun control. So even if you live in a state like this where you might not be able to have your local law enforcement be the ones kicking down your door, it still doesn't mean that you might not be targeted or contacted or arrested or whatever it is, shot your dog in the middle of the night, whatever it is, by the feds. And that's a very big difference. While that reduces the ability for the ATF and the FBI to enforce things, because again, they're a federal agency, they're not nearly as big, oftentimes it's required that when they do these kind of raids that they get the support from local law enforcement. This is huge. This is awesome. I love bills like this that prevent the local law enforcement, or when local law enforcement makes their policy and their decisions to say that they won't help the feds break the law or break their oath to the Constitution. So I don't feel bad whatsoever. I love clowning on people like this. I want to know what you guys think down below when it comes to this, because ultimately this is a cop who truly wanted to enforce gun control. He wanted to be able to enforce gun control. Notice how he said that he would want the department to be held accountable when Biden were to try to say, hey, these guns are illegal and we want local law enforcement to help. He didn't say at any point in time that he didn't want to enforce those laws. This is very clear what many of the brass level or the upper level of law enforcement want, especially in certain areas. Now, if you live in Arizona, Texas, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, I might have said Arizona already, but there's some states that where much more law enforcement might be much more pro 2A, and that's awesome. But people like me, I live in the state of California. I can, for every single person that says, I have a buddy who's a cop, or I'm a cop and I would never enforce any gun control. If you're not beating your wife, I'm not taking your guns, that kind of thing. I could find multiple instances per person of someone who the only crime they committed was having an assault weapon. Seems like every day someone is stopped coming from the range or going to the range and doing something that would be legal in 40-something other states, but because the state of California has some laws saying no, they go to jail. Now, we also saw recently in one of my more recent videos about a guy who had some magazines and the cops took them. A lot of people reached out to me and said, oh, I might have some more context to how that went down. I honestly don't give a shit about the context. The context is the fucking Second Amendment. The context is the decision by Judge Benitez says that those magazines are legal. What more context do you need? A cop chose to go out of their way to enforce gun control. What do you want from me? You guys know the drill though. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. I'm going to be drinking this little Modelito while I thank some of my Subscribe Star members this month. So I want to say thank you to Doodles. I'm going to say thank you to Matthew Valenzuela. Going to say thank you to Cobalt Flame, Big Sexy 82, Iraq Vet 07, Nathan Lewis, H. Grigg, longtime subscriber there. We got to say thank you to Control Pew. God damn, what they are doing with the 3D printing stuff is awesome. Bane 1989, Archer. It's great meeting you, man. Got to say thank you to Space Potato. Excellent name. I love the creativity of some of these names. When I get a new sub, it's like it seems like some people are just trying to go for a high score. Now, you can't top Larry Thickers or Thickcock 45. but you could get pretty close sometimes. Micah German, thank you, man. I really appreciate your support, bro. I'm going to say thank you to City Boy with a 1 instead of an I. You know, Leet Speak. There we go. Rogue Ranger, Arthur A. Rodella. Thank you again, folks. Upload with a 0. I appreciate your support, man. Killjoy, longtime sub, huge supporter. Thank you, Fox, as well. Gotta say thank you to Langdon, man. And then we gotta say thank you to the man with the longest username in the world. Exactly how long can I make my nickname before it decides to limit me? Interesting, I'm still typing this. It's pretty cool. Fuck the system and most importantly, fuck coleslaw. Wait, I can make this longer? Oh, fuck yeah, bro. At this rate, I should have just made this the script to Die Hard. I think he changed it again later on because I think he finished with coleslaw last time. Gotta say thank you to Twisted Steel, aka Sal Ramos. Ferocin. Gotta say thank you to Jennifer. Thank you, Mom. Gotta say thank you to Tyler Smith, Jay Schindeldecker, We the People, Nathan Wangza, Nuttin' Mapantsy, Tyrannical Banana. That's a good one. That's a good classic one. Thickock 45, obviously, again, we gotta say thank you to Mongoose. And honestly, just the support that we've had through Subscribestar has been great. I realized I didn't drink any of this, so I'm gonna pound this real quick. Thank you, everyone, for all of your support. Cheers to an excellent year. Life is pretty fucking good. I know this past year for a lot of people has been pretty fucking shitty. There's been a lot of terrible things going on in this world. But at the end of the day, we still won the lottery by being born in the US of A. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it did. So there we go. Thank you.